All right, everybody, welcome back to yet another Gents Challenge video.
Yes.
Here we are. Here we are, yet again. It's a couple months went by, kind of fly by, honestly, the time in between. But yeah, we're here to talk about another Gents Challenge. My Gents Challenge, actually. This is my idea. I don't know why. I don't have any weddings I'm thinking of, but it just literally just popped into my head. Is the something old, something new challenge? Because that's like a saying. It's like you're supposed to have like something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. That's like a old wedding tradition to like have
Man,
those things incorporated into the wedding.
I'm too young for this.
I don't have a wedding happening. I don't even. I just get popped in my head. I was like, that's a good idea to split games in a
Sure.
certain way. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, how's it going, Zach?
that's all right. I mean, I'm all right. I'm here. Yeah, if you're new to Gents Challenges, by the way, there's always a link in the description to go to the Discord. It's our community Discord, and we have them every couple months. So you get paired up with someone, and it's essentially a backlog challenge, and you're attempting to beat either one or two games within 2 months. And yeah, it's a fun time. We got a good amount of people in there. We got a couple new people this time, so it's nice.
Yeah.
You're always welcome.
And we also have joining us today is my friend Tara the Red Mage, as she goes by on our Discord. But
Yes.
she's here to talk with us about Gents Challenge.
Welcome.
Sweet.
Hello. I know I'm supposed to introduce myself.
Well, let's start with your wait, are you online anywhere? Like will there be anything to plug at all? Or are you more or less a private
Not
person?
really. I'm not really like a poster type person. I don't really do much of that.
Hmm. Okay.
I just keep my shit pretty insular.
Yeah.
So nothing to plug. Just here to talk about what games we're doing.
All right. All right. Well,
I'm the weirdo of our friend group. I'm the one that actually does stuff like this. So
mm,
even though I'm very limited to this, I only do like this thing. I don't really do a whole lot of
this thing.
anything else.
Yeah,
This
this little
thing, this
thing.
thing called Tarqaron. This,
Yeah.
yeah,
I do want to ask you
but
because in previous Gens challenges, I want to ask you about your gaming habits because I remember one challenge where you beat what was it, Chrono Trigger within like 2 days,
Yep.
and then
that's
and
pretty
then
awesome.
you were just gone. That was it.
Yep. I made the mistake of having that one be two SNES era Square JRPGs.
Uh
And
huh.
I'm like, ooh, Chrono Trigger. I've heard nothing but good things. Let me go play that. And then I beat it because I was super into it. And then I started playing Final Fantasy V, and I'm like, boy, I really want to be playing anything else but an SNES era Square JRPG right now. And that feeling has not left me since.
Oh, okay.
Well, you hit peak. I mean, you hit peak. Honestly, you hit Chrono Trigger. That's like
I did.
it's an
That said,
incredible
might
game.
have a little more motivation now. The newest Final Fantasy 14 patch has a lot of five elements in it.
Ooh,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah, I still have all
That
the old
I got
Final
a little bit of
Fantasy.
goosebumps there because even though I've only played a little bit of five, I have like I talk about five a lot. Another friend of mine, Troubadour Wesley, he's done some Gents challenges with us. I was hoping he would join us this time around, but he never got around to doing it. But he does the 4 job fiesta every year, um, which is like a Final Fantasy five. Like it's like kind of a randomizer. It's not quite not quite the same concept as a randomizer, but basically you get assigned you can only use 4 jobs throughout the whole entirety of the game, um, which can be fun and also incredibly challenging if you get screwed over with some of the jobs.
Yeah, I can see
Um,
that. How does that
so
work if it's like a job you don't unlock till later?
so with when it's something like that, because yeah, there are basically you unlock new jobs at each crystal you get to in that game. So you have to just use the one job you have for everybody, pretty much, or have them be freelancer. But early on, it's like everyone might as well just use the job you have. So um, yeah, so I talk a lot of shop with that game, and there's a lot about it that I just really like a lot. I think the soundtrack is kind of one of those ones that's like a silent sleeper. I love the soundtrack of that game. Um, but yeah, so I get it. You know, it's also kind of like daunting because it's not like the most interesting story of a Final Fantasy game, and then you just played Chrono Trigger, which has a great story and great characters.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I still have only beaten Final Fantasy 16. It's the only main Final Fantasy game that I've beaten.
Really.
Yeah, and I've beaten random, like I beat all the Theatrhythm games. I've beaten Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: My Life as a King on WiiWare, and that's it. So I had a couple of Final Fantasies on this list. I thought almost certainly I would be assigned them because I had, well, initially I had a more limited selection. I added a couple more, but I thought because I had Final Fantasy 7 and 13 on there. 7 is often, it's an easy one to be assigned, and 13, a lot of people like 13 in this Discord, so. But yeah,
13's on my list to go back and give another chance to.
you hate it.
I didn't beat it, but I was really bored and frustrated.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, I'm on disc 3. The world is just now opening up. I think I maybe have all the gameplay mechanics. Maybe. I don't know. We're introducing core mechanics this late into the game.
Mm.
I do want to give it another fair shot. Like, last time I tried it was like long enough ago that I'm going to start being sad about how long ago college was.
Yeah, it was a while.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my friend Troubadour played it more recently, and he was like, "Wow, people give this game a real bad rap." It surprised him how much he enjoyed it. He's like, "There's some stuff that I don't really like about it, but some story bullshit and some character." But he legitimately liked all the characters or most of the characters, and thought that the battle system was great.
I
If you
thought the
can hold
battle
on to
system got great eventually.
yes, it's kind
It
of
just take way too long to introduce the paradigm system.
Yeah, you have to play like 5 hours before you get that. That's a little rough, but
Oh, it was way more than 5 hours.
no, it's about that. It's about 5 hours. It's just there's a lot of cutscenes, you see.
Well,
So
all right. Well, we can get into what games we were assigned. Before we do that, though, I do want to say, I want to preface this by saying Alec and I have our own separate challenge, separate from the Gents
Yes.
challenge, year-long challenge, and I think we at least it heavily inspired my lists of what games to put on mine. Initially, I had just like the bare minimum I needed so I could guarantee myself one of those games gets picked. So I had because one of my games to finish for a year-long challenge was a Call of Duty game. So initially I had a couple Call of Duties sprinkled in there, but then I was like, no, that's not really fair. Alec can't do that with his. So I took them out. I was like, okay, instead I'll put some smaller games that people are less likely to pick, so that I'm still more likely to get some of the ones from our challenge. And so I guess I'll just start because I got two very unexpected picks, honestly, from my lists. I ended up with Deadly Creatures on the Wii, which is one I slipped in there. But it's like apparently only like 6 hours to beat, according to howlongtobeat.com.
I think I have my copy of it down here. Hold on. I bought this during. No, I guess
It probably looks just like this.
It does. It looks just like that.
But it's always been talked about as a hidden gem on the Wii. I've heard about it probably from Pete Dorr first, and then ever since then. So, did not expect that one. And then he also assigned me a ukulele, which I have digitally. I don't have the physical one. But yeah, worth noting. It was paired up with Ambassador Legjacked. So this is his first Gents challenge ever, and he had
Heck of a name
on his list. He had some very obscure games that I had never heard of before. Like if you look on there, I'm curious if you know many of them. I don't know if it's just me not being in the indie circle, but they seem very like I had to look into all of them to really inform my decision. So I ended up.
Let me see if I can.
I assigned him Ratchet and Clank, and also this game called Apotheon, which just looked cool. So I was like, "That's cool."
I know Apotheon. Why do I know that? What is that? What did that game kind of look like?
It's cool, got like Egyptian art style.
Yes, Yes, that game looks really cool.
It does, but I'd never heard of like any of them, especially on his new side.
Yeah, there's a lot of these. Yeah, some of these are a little. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. I've never heard of Tembo the Badass Elephant, but
I
I
know.
love the title.
I had to look these up. I was like, are you making half of these games up? Or are they like weird, just like nicknames for other games? No, that is the game. But
Mother Russia Bleeds. I love the name of that too. Rogue Legacy. I know.
I knew Rogue
Ghost
Galaxy.
Runner. I know.
I didn't know Rogue Legacy, but I had heard that
Rogue
one at least.
Legacy. Yeah. Mercenary Kings. I've heard of. The Pathless. That's the. That was that PlayStation 5 launch game. I think it was like a digital launch game. And I think I've heard of Eldest Souls, but I don't know anything about. I know I've heard that name.
I was like, is this a meme name? Is this like a play on like Dark Souls and Elden Ring? Yeah.
Elden Ring. Eldest Souls, yeah.
I don't think I've heard of a single game on that list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I skimmed through all, looked at them at least, and those are the two I ended up with there. But so
wow, that's a wild list. That's for sure. He has freaking 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. Come on, nobody picked. I actually don't know what he get assigned. So
you mean the guy that I just talked about, who I assigned?
Yeah. Who'd you assign? Yeah, the guy you just talked about.
Ratchet and Clank and Apotheon.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So
I can't believe you didn't do that.
No, I should have. I did. So yeah, for me, ukulele, for our year-long challenge on Tarqaron, that'll be a 2-pointer, because that was one of the 5 that Alec picked for me, and I think you're.
Man, what is the year-long challenge you two are doing?
Okay, so we each have a list of 10 games that we gave ourselves. So like, I have a list of 10 for me. He has a list of 10 for him. They're each worth 1 point if you finish one of them this year. And then we also gave a list of 5 to each other. And those are worth 2 points if you finish one of those. So on one of the 5 was ukulele. And so if I beat that this year, that'll give me 2 points. So whoever has the most points at the end will be crowned the best gamer and will be given a trophy from the other person.
Yeah, we're literally going to buy the other person a trophy, whoever wins.
I love it. Alec, I have a question for you.
What's that?
As someone intimately familiar with your ability to backlog games and not play games, why would you do this to yourself?
Great question. Because Zach and I are both not great at it.
I think you're in for a rude awakening, my friend, and especially since we can note right now. We can note right now that neither of his Gents Challenge games are for the challenge at all. So
it's true. It's pretty.
You're
tough.
about to be buried in the sand, because I was already planning on stacking points in these next couple months, and this is going to give me a free 2 points on top of that. I'll be done it within a week. I've played over 10 hours of ukulele, over 10 hours. I'm going to be done that soon.
Well, hey, Baldur's Gate 3 is one of my games, Tara. So we just got to make sure we all finish it on Sunday nights before the end of the year, and then we'll be all set.
Yeah. So I've started playing ukulele well into it now. I've played all 5 worlds. Now I'm just getting more pages, trying to finish the game. So it's a pretty mid platformer, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But it's grown on me a little more as time went on. You know, initially when I first started playing it, like a year or 2 ago, I put in an hour or 2, and then I dropped it because it just wasn't interesting to me. But now that I'm obligated, get to experience more of it, and still think it's pretty just meh, but there's some more redeeming qualities to it as you get into it. But
I gave myself ukulele on my list because I thought, like, hey, maybe we could somehow sync it up, almost like we could review it, because ukulele is one of those games where I've been so kind of rare pilled by like Rusty, who loves ukulele. Like he loves it. He loves ukulele, and I feel like a lot of the people that surround him and his community are all kind of like pretty positive on ukulele. And then I talked to Dubs recently. I was talking about ukulele, and he was like, "Yeah, the game, I hated it." he was like, get to a point where it was just like, why am I playing this game still? I don't want to finish this game. So and then it kind of like jolted me back to be like, oh yeah, people don't like that game. And then it kind of like got me thinking, like, I wonder like what I would think about that game, because like I feel like it's far enough removed from a lot of the noise around it, even though it's funny because they're coming out with a remake, or like a remaster, retooling of that game is coming out later this year. But it still got me thinking, like, I wonder what I would think about that game. So I gave it to Zach and I assigned it to myself because I was like that. For our other list, not this obviously, but yeah. So maybe we'll see my own thoughts on it. But yeah, actually, speaking of which, Playtonic actually just announced that they were laying people off in that studio, which is a big bummer.
Always a hype announcement to post up.
Yeah, don't you love it? You love it's like, all right, we're coming out with our retooled Yuka Replay.
Mm-hmm.
We're laying people off before we release it. What's that?
I said, "Oh, that name."
That name, yeah,
crazy.
it's a pretty wild name. Yeah.
It just occurred to me, or just re-remembering, I actually contributed to that Kickstarter back in the day for ukulele. So I'm really into it, and I just never fucking played it.
Yeah. I remember being about it then too, back in the Kickstarter days.
Yeah.
But yeah, Deadly Creatures is one that is not on my list for our challenge, but should be pretty quick and painless to get through. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then I'm hoping to wrap it up pretty quickly, and so I can, while Alex playing other games to distract himself, I can start stacking points in the meantime. I don't know.
Okay.
I think
Big talker.
Come next Tarqaron podcast, the race might be over. We're halfway through the year. That's all I'm saying.
It's just over. It's over. It's all right. Well, it's true. I haven't even told. Just realized I never told you about this. I'm gonna be having to move this year. I told Tara this earlier, but yeah. So I'm not gonna be in this room post September. So I've got a lot of stuff going on. So it's true. You actually may have a leg up on me.
That's the only reason why, right? That's the only reason.
That's the only reason why. That's it. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right.
Tara, what about you? Who'd you get partnered? I think you also were partnered with the first time Gents Challenger this time too.
Yeah, so I got paired with Hurricane with an extra E, 1997.
Yes.
So there's something old. Some Bioshock, just absolute fucking classic. Like one of those, like, you owe it to yourself to play it if you even remotely like first-person shooter games. Like, it is such a good game and still holds up really well.
Nice.
Having replayed it like a couple years ago, like, still really good. I'm hoping they haven't been spoiled about it. 15, 20? I don't know how long it's been. Yes, I do. There's a date next to it. 2000. Yeah, almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years. That's God.
Hey, yeah, I haven't played it. I still haven't played any Bioshock game. So I did great. I think on Christmas I had it on my list and I got the Bioshock collection on PS4, so I'll be able to play it.
They're good. I even think 2 is underrated. Like 2 isn't great, but I think 2 also gets a lot more shit than it deserves.
That's kind of my feeling about Infinite. Infinite's gotten a lot of it got huge praise when it came out, and then in the years after that, everyone's like, the game sucks.
Infinite's one of those games where it's like, when I played it, I was really invested in what was going on and kind of the spectacle of it. And then I started thinking about it critically, and I'm like, this actually has a lot of problems.
It does, but I still like it. The thing is that a better game that has very similar concepts and ideas came out the same year. And by I say concepts and ideas, I mean gameplay concepts and ideas. And that game was The Last of Us, and it's a lot better.
Haven't played that either. I don't know any of these. These are very obscure games. I haven't played any of them.
I've never heard of these games before.
All right, so that's something old. And then for something new, a lot of games I've never heard of, and a couple of games I'm like, oh, Tomb Raider, Arkham City. So I looked at the games I never heard of and looked up this game called Slid the Snail. And I picked it solely based on the key art. because it's just a snail man with a laser gun.
Let me see.
And I'm like,
That
this game looks okay at best, like a 7
Whoa.
absolute max. But something about that key art just made me smile, and I'm like, no, we're doing Slid the Snail.
Yeah, that's pretty badass looking. Top down.
wait, okay, no, hold on. I gotta figure out how the spelling is because I'm getting like
CLID.
that's what. Yeah, that's what I put in.
Clid the snail.
Or Clid or Clyde.
Lid?
Clid. I
Maybe
think
it's
it's
Clyde?
Clid. I feel like I've
Maybe
heard
it's
someone
Clid,
say
yeah.
it before. It was Clid. I don't know for sure. That
The
looks
key
cool,
art
though.
for Clid the Snail is insane. That's amazing.
That's the
That's
box art
like
battles
that's
winner.
like
Yeah.
yeah, that is a box art battles winner if I've ever
Yeah.
seen one. That is a that's amazing. That's like NES art kind of thing. Like I
Oh,
think of like
100%.
yeah, it's
Like,
like they
it's
had
not
a
like a cartoony snail or like a 3D kind of. No, they went like, no, we're going to make this badass snail man with a fucking laser gun.
Yeah.
I'm so here for it.
yeah, it's great.
All right. And then my games. So my something new, I'm going to start with that because that's the game I'm starting with. Control, which was it you or Josh who got Control? I think it was you. It was you.
It was
Yeah.
me, yeah, because Josh,
So
I was
we
part
both
of
have Control.
We
Synergy.
both have Control.
I've actually started that. I'm like 5-6 hours in. Really enjoying it so far.
Nice.
Really into the gameplay. Really into the story. I actually put this on my list because the last challenge I had Alan Wake 2 on there. And that didn't get picked, but I remember it might have been Dubs or someone who was like, hey, if you're going to play Alan Wake 2, maybe play Control first because it's possible they might reference it because Control references Alan Wake. So I'm like, all right, that game looked interesting. I'll give it a shot. I'll put it on my next list. So already pretty into it.
Nice.
And then my something old, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, a game I have tried several occasions to get into and have failed miserably every time. That's why it's my second game.
Okay.
I love Elder Scrolls. I started with Oblivion. I love Oblivion to death. Skyrim, I have played a metric fuck ton of. Morrowind, I want to love so bad. I love just the
soundtrack.
whole aesthetic. It's just so impenetrable gameplay wise.
Really?
It's got those bat things that are attacking you. I was talking about with you and Josh that last night. It's like, yes, the classic Morrowind experience. Like you walk outside, you look up, and there's these things are attacking you.
I don't really know, like, what is our policy for modding games like that? Should I try to go into this as vanilla as I can get to run on my computer, or
It's actually an interesting concept. I don't know. I don't know if we've ever faced that before.
Never
That's
had it.
interesting.
like there's some games where it's like if you're playing like let's say Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline, do not play that without using the big community mod. Just don't.
Yeah, you like can't basically can't.
I
play
want to
without
say
it.
Morrowind might be in that same category of like there's generally accepted you should do this to play this game.
Wait, like what? What should you do?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. It's been like
Okay.
years since I've tried Morrowind again. I just
Well-
remember like the little conveniences or some graphical things, or even just things to get it to run on modern hardware.
Well, one of my housemates played through it last year, and he was playing it on Xbox, so he was playing like the classic version. There's not really any mods or anything with that, and I really enjoyed watching him play it. Like I thought it's great. It's aged not the most gracefully. I will say that. That soundtrack carries a lot, though. I mean, it really carries the whole game.
Absolutely.
It's such a good soundtrack. Like it's like to me, yeah. Those three games have just amazing music overall. But yeah, that whatever Running Waters or Roaring Waters. I don't remember it's sort of like the kind of the general. It was one of the general overworld themes. It's so good. So
That's honestly one of the parts I'm looking most forward to. Is just the soundtrack and getting to kind of reverse myself in that again.
very good.
So, oh yeah, we didn't say. I'll definitely be a Supreme Gent. You know, we always try to predict what we'll be. I'll definitely be a Supreme Gent
Yeah.
because I'm well into ukulele and Deadly Creatures is short. Tara, how about you?
I mean, definitely at least Gent. Like, there's no way I'm not going to finish Control. Morrowind, I'm going to try my fucking hardest. So far, I'm the last two challenges I've been in, just plain old boring Gent
Mm.
might be where I'm at, but I really want to get through Morrowind. I've been wanting to finish that game for quite some time, and this might be the push I need to actually do it.
You easily have the capabilities. I mean, you beat Chrono Trigger in no time. You could have taken a month off and came back, and you would have been able to finish. So
You
it's just
play
whether
Final
you
Fantasy
want to or not.
14. You play Final Fantasy 14. You should be able to power through it.
Yeah, but like Final Fantasy 14 gives me enough like dumb bullshit to like when I'm tired of doing things, it's like, oh, let me do this content from 8 years ago that I haven't dug into yet. When it's like Final Fantasy
Yeah.
5, I'm like, well, there's the main story, or I grind for a whole bunch. That's kind of all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I was just not feeling another SNES JRPG.
Yeah. All right, Alec, how about you?
Yes. Well, I got also Control,
Mm.
the Remedy game that came out after. Let's see, there was like Alan Wake, then Quantum Break, which is the Xbox game, which I would like to play. I think Lance Reddick is in that game, if memory serves. That has like a lot of like live action elements in it. There's like you
Mhm.
finish like a chapter, and then they play like an episode of a TV show, basically. In that game. That Remedy has always sort of played with that like TV show blending with like real life stuff blending with gameplay. They're one of my favorite developers, but I've literally only played Alan Wake. That's the only game of theirs I played. I just know a lot about like Max Payne and some of those other games they did. But
Mhm.
Control, yeah, our friend Josh or Broccoli the Guardian, who I was paired with, uh got me. He sings this game's praises quite a lot, and like to quote him, this is like the closest or the best game that we're gonna get to like an SCP type game. So I don't know what you know, Zach, if you know anything about like the SCP. It's
Mm-mm.
like it's sort of like um it's sort of like an how do you even describe it? It's kind of like a pseudo. Basically, it's like cryptids. It's like an organization that's hunting cryptids. It's all this like kind of fake lore that the internet has kind of created
Mm-hmm.
about the SCP. I don't remember what SCP something secure, contain, protect. I think something like that.
Something like that.
um and it's like it's all about like there's different levels of cryptids that they're all like hunting and keeping contained, so it's like a secret society that has like contained all of these monsters and these cryptids and things.
Hmm.
So Control is very heavily like based on and like inspired by that kind of lore. And so yeah, I mean, I think it's super cool. I'm really excited because my brother also sings all of Remedy's games, like sings praises of all their games. He loves Alan Wake, loves Control, he loves Quantum Break too. So, um, but yeah, so I got assigned that, and then that was on my something new, and my something old was Metal Gear Solid One, the original Metal Gear Solid. I've so um, of those games, the only one that I've played, other than Metal Gear Rising, which doesn't really count, and that game's amazing, is Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, which is the GameCube remake of Metal Gear Solid One. It was not directed by Hideo Kojima, which that has it in and of itself has basically led fans to be like, it's not official, it's not the real thing because it wasn't directed by him. And it did some of like the cutscenes and action sequences they make, like they have Snake do things that are already in a game series that's pushing the bounds of like realism. He does some things in it that are just they're basically out of like kung fu action movies where it's like there's at least a little bit more grounding for some of these games than that. And that's why so some people have problems with that with the Twin Snakes, as well as the game's pretty easy. because they essentially made it in the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine, and that kind of breaks the game because it makes it really, really easy because you can just go into first person and like shoot bosses like really easily, which were never intended to be fought that way. So I've never played the original. I've always wanted to. I remember I remember borrowing, this is like a really long time ago. We like borrowed someone's PlayStation, and all I can remember is just like seeing the opening cutscene of this game. Um and being like, "Whoa, it's like a movie." Like it's got like a credits and everything. It's like a James Bond film. Like it's like kind of like how it's starting. It's not quite as hard James Bond film as Metal Gear Solid 3 has, where it has its own theme song, Snake Eater.
Yeah. I love that song, even though I
But
don't play the games. I still love that
that
song.
song's amazing. That song's amazing. But with Metal Gear Solid 1, I just remember thinking, it's like, wow, it's like really, it was cool. I was never really seen a game do something like that before. So I'm really looking forward to this. I know this collection has gotten a lot of flack, but they've actually done when it first came out, it was in a pretty rough shape. But they've actually done like a lot of improvements on all 3 games in the collection, particularly with one. One was like in the roughest shape, I guess, which is kind of unacceptable for a game that's like, you know, close to 30 years old now. I think it came out in 97. So, but they did some like really nice, they updated it and made it like actually like a viable way to play it now. So I'm glad that I held off on picking that up, and now I have it in this. So that's what I was assigned by Broccoli the Guardian, Josh, our friend. And for him, I have to call this up because I actually don't remember. Oh yeah, okay. So for him, he had an interesting list. There were a few games on there that I was really close to being like, I'm just gonna assign you this because I think that'd be funny. One of which was Deadpool the video game.
Classic.
He's he our friend Josh he's a very big comic book fan. And that game I think some consoles that game is on. I think it was delisted, and I think it was from like digital storefronts. I think it's kind of a little bit of a collector's item now. The physical version of that game. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that it's on there. And then I also saw High on Life, which I'm like, okay, so you get your Justin Roiland voice acting junk. Which I was like, okay, that could be fun, maybe. Persona 5 Strikers. Josh played through Persona 5 kind of recently, like within the last couple of years, and he loved it. And then also, he and I have talked about Sam and Max a lot, and I was like, okay, maybe one of those. But when I saw Dredge, I was like, okay, Lovecraftian type style game, that's right up his alley. I gotta give it to him. So, so I saw that on his something new. It came out a couple years ago. It's sort of a slow burn kind of game, but because it's like a lot of it is just like this. You start off, you're just going out in your little fishing boat, and you're going out and you're fishing. But like, you start to like uncover more secrets and layers to the world and to what you're doing as it goes on. I've never played it. One of my housemates played it when it came out, and he was telling me about it, and I was like, oh, that game sounds really cool. But I've tried to kind of like stay away from spoilers for it because I want to play it at some point myself. But yeah, I hope he has a really good time with that. I felt like thematically it's just like really it's right up his alley. So and for something old, an interesting list. I saw Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and I actually was kind of almost tempted to give that to him because just because I was like, ooh, there's a challenge for you. But I ended up going with Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga because it's a game that I have played and I'm very nostalgic for. He also had Alan Wake too, and I might have given him that, but I was just like Mario and Luigi. I think that's just like a fun, enjoyable, lighthearted RPG that I really like. I played through it a bunch of times. and yeah, I kind of want to see what kind of pick his brain, see what he thought about it, and I don't know. Hopefully he finds it as funny as I did. I remember kind of like with some of the Paper Mario games, the writing in that game is really funny. I remember actually just like laughing out loud playing it. It's just those games are so much fun. And yeah, so thought that was cool.
Yeah, you were partnered with him
the game I
before
was
too, right?
I was, yeah.
I feel like it
I'm
might have
trying to
even been the
remember.
last
Well,
time he participated.
it was a three. I think it was a 3-person one where I think I picked games for him and he picked games for I think your brother. Your brother
Maybe.
picked games for me. I think.
Yeah.
I could be misremembering who the third was in that, but I think it was a 3. Yeah, that is kind of funny that we got paired up again. Yeah, I think my chances are pretty good. I know these games aren't like neither Metal Gear Solid 1 nor Control are like hugely long games. I know they're like I would say probably like a short to moderate short length, like maybe like 15 hours or something for both of them. It also depends on how good I am at Metal Gear Solid. I'm not good at stealth games.
Yeah, I was the little I played. I
So
was
it's gonna
not
be
good at it. I was like, I'm out of this. I'm done. I can't
So
do this stuff.
I just got to find that patience to get through it.
That's right. You have to find it within yourself.
I'm sure I will. I feel pretty good that I'll be a Supreme Gent, but the thing is yeah, this is gonna set me back now. It's gonna set me back in terms of our thing.
You played yourself though. You left yourself wide open. Way too many.
Yeah,
it was like I didn't even realize how many games you had in there. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I did, but yeah, is what it is.
Because you have to prioritize which challenge you think is more important to you there.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. It's true.
Best gamer.
But I do want to play these games. Is the thing. So.
And you should.
Yeah.
They both seem like good games. I had Metal Gear Solid 1 on my something old too.
Yeah. So.
Imagine you both got the same 2 games. So it'd been good.
That would have been great.
That would have been wild.
So let's talk about what any others that stand out from the other pairings. I do want to first shout out Dubs, who will get a shot of redemption for Battle for Bikini Bottom, except this time on GBA.
He's the GBA version of the game.
I didn't know there was a GBA version.
Yeah, it plays completely different, right? Isn't it like a 2D platformer thing, or is it actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
It has to be.
Yeah. Can I? I wonder if he would. I wonder if he would mind. I actually have some insider information on this, by the way. So he's actually played this game before. But he got stuck kind of early on, and then he got mashing codes in just like randomly, and he mashed one that brought him basically to the very end of the game. And so he beat the game that way. So he's like, I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna play the game normally. I'll play through it that way, because he's like, I don't feel like I earned that. Like as a kid, I don't feel like I earned it because I didn't really beat it. I sort of cheated to get to the end. So
yeah,
I was very bummed that whoever he was paired with did not give him Chrono Trigger. I was like, come on, it's right there. It's Chrono Trigger.
Oh, true. Yeah. So the Battle for Bikini Bottom Chronicles, so the dubs, it goes back to an older Gents video we did, where he, what was it that happened? His game crashed or something, and he lost a ton of progress.
It was like a save glitch or something. It was like the game wasn't auto-saving properly. So he lost like 6 or 7 hours of progress or something in it.
Yeah, Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Yeah.
And then I went and beat it.
That's it, yeah.
I beat it myself.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, whatever, I'll beat it.
But notice that one's not coming back on the list, though. Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's good. I think he's all set with that, if I had to take a guess.
Interesting seeing Chrono Cross and Sea of Stars, because I know Sea of Stars was a very Chrono Trigger inspired game.
It's a cute little pairing.
So, Holy Hand Grenade having to basically play the actual sequel and then a spiritual successor type game.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. I have very, very mixed feelings about Chrono Cross. I think it's a game that I love, but it's a game that I just complicated feelings about. The soundtrack is one of the greatest ever composed for video
I
games.
wouldn't know what that feels like. A game that you love but have complicated feelings about.
Yeah, I wonder. Many games in that regard.
Mhm.
I wanted to bring up, we have both people that had 428 Shibuya Scramble both got it
True.
assigned.
Yeah, they were talking about that before
is
the
a-
challenge. How if we get paired together,
Yeah,
we should give it to
Yeah.
each other. And then they
Yeah.
didn't end up paired together, but they're both other people were like, "Yeah, we'll just give it to you." Yeah.
That game is very long. It's like a probably like 80 to 100 hour visual novel. But it's a unique one because it's not it uses like real actors. It's like all live action still images.
Yeah.
Instead of like the typical anime style of visual novels. So it's kind of cool in that regard. That it's using just actual real people for most of it. But that's a game I own. I've not played it. But I picked it up actually because I don't think he's really involved so much in the Discord server anymore, but you remember nuts, Rock Band Dash, Zach?
Yeah.
He reviewed this game. He had like a blog back in the day where he'd review visual novels, and he reviewed this, and he had really just nothing but good things to say about it. So that like got me. I was like, oh, okay, I'll have to keep an eye out for that game, and yeah, so some point, maybe someday. I doubt it though, because it's very long.
Rebel of the Rebellion had Castlevania and Skylanders. I think that's such a random pair. I played the original Castlevania last year.
Like original Castlevania, like NES Castlevania.
Yes, NES Castlevania. Yeah, that's what Dubs gave him that. Yeah, it was like, and he saw Spyro, and he was like, "Hell yeah, I'm giving you Skylanders, Spyro's Adventure."
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if Rebel of the Rebellion actually has any of the original Skylanders for that game, like the figures.
My brother has like all of them, like every single one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wow.
Hardcore.
Yeah,
I played through Castlevania for the first time last year as part of that like PS4 collection, and it was good. It was good. It was tough though. Some of
the game is very hard.
Can be tough.
Yeah. I like it. I love. The original Castlevania is really good, but
anything else stand out here? It's funny to look back and see how many of the people have been part of our Gents videos in the past now. We've had Dubs, Blink, Luke, and Rusty have all been in videos before.
Oh, Rusty, speaking of it, have not had Josh on yet. Maybe if he's participated in another one, maybe he will be on next. We shall see. Get him on. I will say also shout out to Rusty because he is playing Golden Sun. He was assigned Golden Sun, which is a game I got him for Christmas and one of our gift exchanges.
Oh yeah, wow! Forgot about that.
So I think he's playing it on that whatever that I don't know, one of those new systems that upscales Game Boy games or whatever, one of those handhelds. I don't remember what that one's called, but I think he's playing it on that, and he's scanning that to the TV. At least I think that's what it looked like from the picture that he showed in his Discord. So I was like, heck yeah, he's playing Golden Sun, baby, one of my favorite games.
Really, that's cool. And he assigned my brother Krillin Ball Z, a couple of big AAA games, Uncharted 2 and Marvel Spider-Man. Big Sony AAA pair there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I think that's.
Is that it?
I think so.
Might be. I'm not seeing anything else really jumping out to me apart from like, oh hey, that was on my list too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, best of luck to everybody. You already have, as of the time of recording this, we have 2 Gents already. We have Luke, who beat Metroid Zero Mission, which was like 3 hours. So that's nothing. But then we had Boss Chaz with the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. So I was honestly thinking I had a chance to be the first because I was like grinding this ukulele. But yeah, boss chat is almost as always one of the first, and then I didn't realize Luke had a 3-hour game in there. So
Yeah, Metroid Zero Mission's a pretty short game.
Wasn't expecting that short. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have. I'm calling. I'm gonna have Control done within the next week, 2 tops.
There you go.
The question then becomes Morrowind, because I am subject to my own fleeting whims. And how they're going to line up with me wanting to play Morrowind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you
me. I think I'll probably.
You give yourself enough wiggle room. You beat it. You beat the first game within a week. You have a month and 3 weeks to try to get in the mood for Morrowind.
Yeah. Well, we saw how that worked out last time.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
I think I'm gonna probably play Control first. I don't know though. We'll see. I'm also subject to my own fleeting whims. Like I still gotta. I did all the side content I wanted to in 7 Rebirth. And now
I see you on Power Wash.
A Power Wash Simulator. I'm
addicted. Finished Rebirth yet?
No, I still haven't. Sorry,
motherfucker.
I know. So
do that.
So Tara, I took Tara. I know. I took her to a concert, or the Rebirth concert, and I had to close my eyes for the last like 15 minutes of the concert because it was all the end of the game, and I was like, "Oh no, I haven't seen this yet." So
that's a point. That's a point waiting for you too on the challenge. That's
a point. It's a point because it's on my list. 16 is another one. Final Fantasy 16 is another one. That's a
you
point.
Won't finish that game ever.
Hey, you're like what, like a third, maybe half of the way through?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through probably. So
yeah.
I'll finish it. No,
I can't talk about the soundtracks with you.
I don't. Yeah, that's too bad. The sound. I think I heard the version of Battle on the Big Bridge that you were talking about though. Before. Yeah. That's so good. It's so good.
It's maybe my favorite version of that song now.
It's incredible. There's multiple versions of it in Rebirth, and they're all really good. But I know the way they
transitioned into one into the other was just
so good. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, that soundtrack is incredible.
Yes. So go ahead and finish 16 because I've got a lot of songs about that. Let me tell you about the song for Titan and how that relates to all the little things they took from Final Fantasy 14 into that.
Got a lot to talk about coming up. If I can actually just knuckle down and actually just play the games instead of playing Power Wash Simulator because that game is really fun.
That's why me and Josh are forcing you to play Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. So
we're gonna drag you through that kicking and screaming.
Yeah, and fun fact about that, I guess I'll talk about this on our podcast whenever we get to that, which will probably be in a couple of weeks, but we're actually gonna be playing through that in character. So we're all gonna try to stay in because Tara is often our GM in our TTRPG games.
Mm-hmm.
So we, playing role-playing games, obviously we do stuff in character all the time, but we're like, it would be kind of fun to play Baldur's Gate where you are just in character the whole game. And
I like it.
I want to do that. I think that sounds really fun.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it for so long.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back in a couple weeks to see how it all went.
Couple weeks, couple months.
Couple months, yes, a couple months.
It's like, no, don't. I don't. 2 weeks. What do you mean?
Yeah, a couple months. I'll be a Supreme Gent. That's all I can speak for. I'm not sure about these other jokers, but
I'm definitely gonna be a Gent. Maybe I'll get the top hat this time. We'll see.
Come on, you just gotta believe. It's just whether you want it or not. You want it, you got it. Sometimes you gotta want something and let yourself have it. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta let yourself have it. Yeah, to quote Halloween Town.
Yeah. No, that's the whims of fate too. It's just like, it's just a little avatar thing. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I could be playing this instead.
That's true. What does it really matter?
Also, it's like, no, I'm not going to lose to this for the 3rd time. Fuck that. I'm doing this shit. Pride is on the line.
There you go.
But this is the crazy thing is always Gents was like, that's all you need to do. You succeeded. You're a Gent. But now it's almost like so many people are successful and there's so many Supreme Gents. So it's like, I'm just a Gent. It's like, what am I, like chopped liver? You know, there's like maybe one or two rascals. Everybody else supreme gents. Yeah. So, all right, we'll see. We'll come back then. All right. Until then, okay, what's the video we can recommend? I'm gonna
Use your little randomize it.
random rules. I'm gonna pull up a random Tarqaron video to
Random rules.
recommend for you to go watch. All right, if you enjoyed this video, why don't you go check out Tarqaron Mad Libs number 5. Arthur drinks the audience. All right.
All right.
Check that out. Where we did custom-made
Cool.
Tarqaron Mad Libs created by my brother Krillin Ball Z in the Discord. Custom Tarqaron Mad Libs. Wow.
Yeah, they're great. We gotta get back to some of those sometime.
I
Some of
know.
those are way too long though. Way too long.
Yeah, it's the rap battles though.
Those rap battles are long.
All right. Well, until next time. Thanks for joining us, Tara. Thanks for
having me.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll
Looking
see you
forward
again.
to, the follow-up episode.
That's right.
Yeah. See how we all did.
Until next time.